Hello everyone. Well, it's 11 o'clock here in Arizona. It's like 106, 107 degrees already. We're supposed to hit 115, 116 today, but I'm here to make part 2 of installing a winch, and we're going to focus on mainly the electrical part of it and how I installed the solenoid and stuff. So first things first, make sure you go purchase a plate from KFI Products. It'll be about $50. That part number is going to be 102175. It will work for the Foreman, Rubicon, R Rancher 2020 on a Honda. And I would recommend purchasing the ZXR 3,500 pound winch from Harbor Freight. I think if you get it on sale, it might be 130 to, if you don't get on sale, maybe up to $200, but still $250 to do the whole job is pretty cheap. So also I will drop in a photo here of a pigtail for electrical you'll need. I'll drop it in right now. Now that you've seen the photo of that, that's a pigtail you need to order from Honda. That will also have the part number on that picture if you looked at it, and you will need that part to do this. Now, also, when I mounted my solenoid, this is what I used. There's a washer. You see the 1/4 inch, 1 by 1/4 inch washer I used. That's make sure you see that says nylon lock nuts. That's what I used, 1/4 inch on it. You can see the nut right there. And then this is the bolt I used, the 1/4 inch 20 by 1 bone 1.5. So you can see that right there. So you guys, that's what I used to mount my my solenoid. So let's get to it real quick. If you watch video number 1, you're gonna know I told you guys what to take off, and I would recommend taking off what I said and mounting that winch to the plate, and then put that plate to the front bumper, and then mounting that bumper back on before you even start electrical on it. And don't worry, it's not no big deal. Just mount that winch back on. Don't put any wires to the winch or nothing like that. Just mount that winch to the plate and put the plate to the bumper and put the bumper back on the quad. Once that's done, you can move on with electrical. So you're gonna come up here, and that pigtail I showed you, it's gonna plug in right there. It'll even come with a new clip and everything for it. A new clip up here and everything. You're just gonna take this, unplug it. It matters what you have. If you have the Foreman or the Rubicon, you're just gonna have to unplug your existing wire to your 12 volt, and then that new pigtail will plug in here and plug back into your 12 volt. So you can stick your hand in there. There is room to get your hand in there without having to take this plastic off to do that. Okay, guys? If you have the Rancher, you're just gonna have this big red piece right here, and it's just gonna be a cover. You're just gonna pop that off. It'll pull out of this also, and you'll put the new one in, and you'll understand when you get it. And it'll have 3 wires. One will be for the 12 volt, one will be for if you want to put grip warmers, and one will be a wire for the winch. Now, what's this little red wire that comes up here from the winch and then goes that pigtail for? It's just so the winch solenoid isn't drawing power from your battery the whole time. It's just so when the key comes on, then it will only be ready to be used. It's just a safety wire, pretty much, in my mind. I call it a hot wire, whatever you want to call it, but it's just so the solenoid and winch isn't draining your battery when it's just sitting here. That's what it's mainly for. So now, I would tell you, I wish I had one in front of me. So let's say let's use this for an example. Let's say this is the solenoid right here. We'll see this box is the solenoid. I would put my solenoid here. I'd hook all my wires to it. I'd put my blue and yellow wire, run it this way. That runs for the winch. My red and black wire that goes to the battery, I'd run it that way. You're gonna also hook up that little red wire that'll go up. And then don't worry about the wire for the switches yet that actually run it. That you can just plug right in later, okay? But I'd at least get all that wiring hooked up to it when it's outside of the quad. And then you're gonna come over here and you're gonna bring all that wiring over, and that's when you're going to come to the side of your bike. And this is, this plastic right here, it pulls out. You can even take this rivet out right here, and this whole plastic side kind of pulls out enough that you can work with it without breaking anything. Just be careful. And you can run that whole wiring harness all the way up and feed it into there, you know. And once you feed it into there, you can run your yellow and blue wire back to your winch, and you can run that red and black wire all the way up following the wire harness. And you can also run your little red wire, like I did right here, up to the hole up there, and then you can see it right there, up to your wiring harness that you just purchased. Now, the wire that comes across from the switches right here on it, that is actually part of that same little red wire. So it's that same little red wire that runs up. So that's, you're gonna have to kind of have an idea of what that is, and you're probably gonna be screwing that on right here on it. I hope that helps. I think when you get it started, you'll know. Now, as for putting the solenoid and putting the bracket here, now you're just going to have to kind of measure out the holes yourself and mark them and punch them, which I'd probably, you know, maybe before you even hook up the wires of solenoid, put the solenoid right here and mark them on the outside, and then hook all the wires up to your solenoid. You know, kind of trial and error. I think common sense will help you along with that. So let's move back over here. So that wiring on it followed the whole, I had to pause for a sec, but so that red wire and black wire just comes along. This follows this wiring harness. Now, if you look on this side, there is no wiring harness on the left side of your bracket. That's all the exhaust. So that's why I followed the wiring harness on the right, just so it wouldn't get hot and melt. And there's a solenoid right in there again. It's just hooked right to it. You know, I had some extra wire here. I had a bunch up in the zip tie. Do the best you can, guys. It does come with some extra wire, and I ran it all the way back down to the battery. Now, do you need to do any kind of thing different to the battery? No, just pull your regular nut that's on the battery. It goes right on top. Same thing on the red, right on top, and tighten it down, guys. Either the nut's long enough to add that secondary part to it. There's no extra stuff you have to do back there. It even comes with the ZXR Harbor Freight one, comes with its own little, hope you can see that little black thing right there, comes with its own little fuse box that it just fits right in here on the Honda. It had plenty of room for me to tuck it down in there, and it worked out perfect. So just like I said, just follows the wiring harness all the way across, all the way down into there to the solenoid. So that's pretty much it, guys. It wasn't too much rocket science once you get it going. You know, like I said, especially once you get that pigtail and you have that pigtail up here, just made things way easier. If you have the Foreman or Rubicon, I just did the COWBOY way and just found which wire was hot and tapped into that wire. But I would say getting that $16 pigtail would have been the smarter way to do it, I guess. I just did it, like I said, the COWBOY way, and used what I had and plugged right into that wire. But if you have the Rancher, you don't have that wire because you don't have a 12-volt outlet. So I'd recommend, no matter what, getting the pigtail if you have the Rancher. Foreman or Rubicon, you can do the COWBOY way if you want. Or buy the pigtail for down the road, because you might want to get hand warmers or whatever down the road. And yeah, that's about it, guys. So I hope you like this video. I hope that helps explain the wiring part of it, you know. Well, you know, I didn't explain too much of it. I explained how to kind of run that wiring down into there, then plug it all in and mount it. Now, don't forget, you also have the wiring up here that goes to your switch, and then also it'll have the wire that goes to your plug right there for your out switch. Now, that does have its own little pigtails up here that clip and unclip, so it'll help you run it better than to run it across. You can see that wire that runs across right there to the solenoid, you know. And a lot of people told me last time, why did I have this so low in the quad? Well, you can put it up as high as you want. You can put it up as high as here. You can put it up as high as out here if you want to put it. And I'll show you here. Here it is right here, just bolted. Look at all that wire mounted right there. That's all bunched up extra wire. So that thing has so much wire, you can even run it all the way to the back of the quad right here and drill a hole in your plastic here. You can put that anywhere you want, just so you know that wire. But I forgot about that other wire. That's your switches wire to turn it on and off. But you'll see that and you kind of figure out where you want to mount that. You know, like I told in my last video, the reason I did it there is because there was already a pre-existing hole there. So, and I haven't had any trouble with it, guys. I've went through water, I've went through dirt and all that, and I've even washed my quad a few times and got that wet. And it's like I said, it's a little rubber thing. I mean, that thing's still clean as a whistle in there. So it's really your choice where you want to mount it. So that's about it, guys. Like I said, I hope that helps. I hope the gentleman that asked for this, I hope he sees it, and I hope this helps him out. So please let me know if it does or if it doesn't. And please subscribe, guys. And Arizona Kid will see you next time, hopefully on the trail. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.